Hello everyone. We will introduce continuous casting production process. There are two ways to make molten steel solidified and formed in the process of production various kinds of steel products: ingot casting and continuous casting. The task of casting steel is to cast liquid steel with qualified composition into a certain shape suitable for rolling and forging. Billet or ingot is the final forming process of steelmaking product, which is directly related to the yield and the quality of steelmaking production. Therefore, steel casting is an important part of steel production process needs to be strictly controlled. Ingot casting is a process of pouring molten steel into ingot mold made of cast iron and cooling solidification into ingot. Continuous casting is the process of continuously pulling molten steel into the water-cooled mold to obtain the billet. Ingot casting has been basically replaced by continuous casting. Continuous casting has been developed rapidly because of its advantages. The continuous casting process is shown in slide. The molten steel from the steelmaking furnace is injected into the ladle and then transported to the top of the continuous casting machine after secondary refining treatment. The molten steel is injected into the tandis through the ladle nozzle at the bottom of the ladle. The position of the tandis nozzle is preset to align with the mold below. After the tandis stopper is opened, the molten steel flows into the water-cooled mold blocked by the dummy bar head. In the mold, the molten steel gradually condenses into the shell along with its periphery. When there is a certain thickness of the shell at the outlet of the bottom of the mold, the billet straightener and mold oscillation device are started at the same time. So, the billet with liquid core can enter the arc-shaped guide section composed of several pinch rollers. The billet moves forward in the secondary cooling area and is forced to cool by the atomized water sprayed from the nozzle and continues to solidify. After the dummy bar comes out of the straightener, it is separated from the billet. After the billets are straightened and completely solidified, they are cut into billets of fixed length by the cutting device, and finally transported to the designated place by the billet discharging device. With the continuous injection of molten steel, the billet continuously extends downward and is cut, forming the whole process of continuous casting. The continuous caster is mainly composed of ladle, ladle carrier, tandis, tandis carrier, mold, mold isolation device, secondary cooling device, straightening and withdrawal unit, dummy bar device, cutting device, and billet delivery device. Ladle is a device for holding and casting molten steel and is also a container for secondary refining. Ladle carrier is mainly ladle turret. its main function is to carry ladle and support ladle for the casting operation. The ladle turret can be used to change the ladle quickly and realize multi-ladle continuous casting. The TANDIS is also called metal tank, which is a transition device between the ladle and the mold to reseal the molten steel, so that the molten steel has a reasonable flow and the proper long stay time in the TANDIS. In the multi-strand continuous casting, the molten steel is divided by the TANDIS. During the multi-furnace continuous casting, the molten steel stored in the TANDIS plays a role of connection when replacing the ladle. TANDIS carrier is mainly TANDIS car, which is used to support, transport, and replace TANDIS. The mold is special water-cooled steel mold. The molten steel is cooled in the mold, initially solidified and formed, and a certain thickness of the shell is formed, so as to ensure that when the shell is pulled out of the mold, the shell will not be leaked, deformed, or cracked. So it is a key equipment of continuous caster. The isolation device of the mold is to make the mold move up and down, according to the certain requirements, so as to prevent the initial shell from sticking to the mold and being cracked. The secondary cooling device is mainly composed of water spray cooling device and billet support device. Its function is to spray water directly to the billet or slab to make it completely solidified, and to prevent and limit the occurrence of boulding, deformation, and the leakage of steel by supporting and guiding the billet with liquid core through pinch roller and side guide roller. The function of straightener is to pull out the billet smoothly during the casting process and straighten and arc billet. It also feeds the dummy bar unit into the mold before casting. The dummy bar device includes two parts, dummy bar head and dummy bar. Its function is to serve as the removal bottom of the mold at the beginning of casting. It blocks the bottom outlet of the mold and makes the molten steel solidified at the head of the dummy bar. Through the traction of the straightener, and casting billet is pulled out from the outlet of the mold along with the dummy bar. When the dummy bar head is pulling over the straightener, the dummy bar is removed and enters to the normal state of the billet casting. The purpose of the cutting device is to cut billet into the required fixed length in the process of cutting. The cutting billet discharge equipment, including discharge roller table, pusher, cooling bed, etc. That's all for today. See you next time.